Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do something a little bit different and do a story time video. I mentioned in my previous videos that I had lost my job. So today, why not tell you guys the story of how I got fired. Now before I get started, I just want to kind of throw this out there. I feel like I was fired because my coworkers did not like me. Now before I get into that, just a little bit about me. I'm reserved. I'm a reserved type of person, and it may come across as me being stuck up, and it also may come across as me being antisocial. So I think that may have been a key in, why my coworkers just they won't feeling me. They just won't feeling me. Okay, so let's get into it. It started out good. I went through training. Everything seemed good, warming up to my coworkers, learning them, getting to know them. Like I said, everything was cool. So I just remember one day I walked in and I had on this really nice outfit, and my coworker commented on my outfit. She was like, you look real cute, And that same day I had on these black open-toed shoes. She didn't say nothing about the shoes. She didn't say nothing was wrong. So I thought everything was good. I said thank you, and I went about my day. So I ended up wearing the shoes again, maybe like a couple days after that. And she mentioned, she was like, girl, you got on open-toed shoes. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, girl, I don't wear these shoes so many times, and you haven't said nothing. You've even complimented me in the past when I had these shoes on. So she was like, yeah, you have on open-toed shoes. And I was like, okay. But I didn't say okay, but in my mind I'm like, okay. I think she mentioned, she was like, well, you're not supposed to have open-toed shoes in areas like this. Because I worked in a hospital, but the area that I was in was considered a non-clinical area. So policy stated that we could wear open-toed shoes in non-clinical areas. So when she mentioned to me about my shoes, I mentioned to her about policy, and I said it in a nice way, I promise. But somehow or another, she did not take it the way I put it out. So the next day I came in, I had the same shoes on. I was called into the office of my supervisor, and I was written up. So that was strike one. Okay, the next time it was on a Saturday. I was working with a co-worker of mine. She was a veteran. Like I said, I'm a newbie, and I'm still learning. Like, we still have like a probationary period, like a trial of, I think it's 6 months. That's still considered training for us. And this day a patient came in. I'm not going to tell you everything that happened, but like I said, I was in training. A certain specific situation happened where the patient didn't have a specific type of insurance, and the procedure that was done with her was wrong. I ended up in that situation. I didn't know what to do, and when I went to ask the veteran that was there with me, she didn't know either. So we ended up calling our floor supervisor, our floor manager, team manager, and she gave me specific instructions as to what to do. So I'm thinking the situation is good. I come in the next day. Well, actually, I think that was a Saturday. I came in on that Monday, and I was called into the office again, and I was written up for the instructions that my supervisor, or that my team leader had told me to do. I tried explaining it to my manager. She wasn't hearing it. She wrote me up for what I had did. So that was strike two. And at that point, I realized that I can't trust my team manager, and I cannot trust my overall team coordinator supervisor. So at this point, like, nah, I don't even want nothing to do with these people at this point. So like I said, I continue on being myself. I came to work, I did my job, and I left. And that was the pattern, every single day. I didn't think about that place when I left. Okay, so the third situation that really put a fire in my spirit. I was working in the breast center, and my team manager came up and asked me a question. She asked me, was I doing something? you know, and I was like, what, you know, what, who told you that? Like, no, I wasn't doing that. Who told you that I did that? And she was like, somebody had told her that I did this, or I was doing this particular registration wrong with the patient, or I was doing this way and I was supposed to have been doing it that way, and somebody had went and told the manager that I was doing something wrong. So I asked her, I was like, who told you that? You know, why are you asking me this? You know, and she was like, oh, I don't know. You know, somebody went and told the manager that you were doing it. You know, I don't know. So at that point, I'm mad. I'm pissed off. So I'm like, I'm about to go talk to my manager. I go talk to my manager. The girl lied. Nobody had told her anything about me doing something wrong. It's like they just wanted me to admit to doing something wrong, or I'm not sure. But they ended up, she was lying to me. She, you know, was lying. But before I could get to the manager and talk to her about what this girl had said to me, the girl had already went back and told the manager that I had yelled at her and I got loud with her, and they had witnesses. Mind you, this is a professional place, but a lot of young people were working here, or should I say a lot of ghetto people were working here, and they had cliques. And I'm not the type of girl who is in nobody's clique. I'm Tarika, and I'm okay to be by myself, and I don't feel like I need somebody to be somebody. And these type of girls, they were together. So she got her friend to lie for her. She called up there, because I remember sitting at my desk before I went down, and she told her, I heard her on the phone, the girl didn't know that I could hear, but she told her to put her nose ring, take her nose ring out, and she told her that Julia, yeah, I'm saying names, the supervisor wanted to see her. So yeah, she wrote me up for that and was like, I need to improve. She don't want to hear nothing like that again, of me disrespecting my team manager when they're trying to help me. What? So at that point, that was strike 3. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. Like, I don't trust none of these people. I need a new job. I need to get up out of here. So, like I said, I mean, all of that was happening, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm doing my job. I'm just gonna come here and do my job, and I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna let these people get to me or nothing like that. It was a Friday again, and I was upstairs in the breast center again by myself. It was kind of slow, so our team manager, she would actually flex us off. So she had already flexed off the other girl that was working in the department with me, and I was still there. So I was left by myself to do the end of the day report, to do, you know, the cash box, to do any end of the day procedures, print out orders for the next day for the patients, and, you know, stuff like that. So once I was done, I was able to leave, you know, but I didn't finish till maybe somewhere after 4:30, and obviously that was an issue. I remember my coworker coming up there to put something in the drawer, and when she came up there, I was working on printing out the end of the day reports and the orders, and I was working. So I knew it was kind of odd, because before she came up there, she had called to see if I was still up in the office. So I was like, why is she calling up here? Why are they concerned whether or not I'm still up here? I'm working, so what's the problem? So of course my antennas go out. I said, I know they're up to something. So then the girl that called, she comes up, puts something in the drawer, and she walks back downstairs. Didn't say nothing to me, of course, because they don't like me. Whatever, I don't care. So yeah. At that point, I knew. I said, yep, something's up. And it was. So that Monday, bright and early, I had to get up and go in the breast center. I was up I had to be there by 7, so I was there pretty early. As soon as I unlocked the door and stood right in front of my computer, I looked up, and there was my manager opening the door, and she took me down in her office, and she told me, based off of my past mistakes, the things that I had been written up about in the past, and because I did not clock out I didn't flex off when I supposed to that Friday night. I was being terminated. Yeah. And she said that a coworker had came and told her that I was just sitting on the clock. I wasn't doing anything. And I tried to explain to her that that was not true. And I'm trying to tell you, y'all, like, so much peace came over me at that point, because at that point I was just like, nah, I don't need to be here. If this is what I'm going to be dealing with, I don't need to be here. God is clearly moving me out of this place for a reason, and I don't need this place. Like I said, I tried to explain to her the truth. I even mentioned, like, you know, it doesn't give you any red flags knowing that this information is not true. And she told me that it was beside the point. You're about to fire me and you're telling me it's beside the point for me that a person could possibly be lying on me about this information that's getting me fired, but it's beside the point. So at that point, I just left it alone. I couldn't even, I was just so like, wow, they really got me fired. All because I didn't want to be in their clique, all because I was quiet and reserved and I didn't talk a lot to them. Really. But yeah, she fired me that day based off of me not flexing off and my past mistakes that I had been written up about. She asked for my badge, asked for my keys, and walked me out, and that was my last day there. And am I sad about it? No. Was I sad? When I got to the car, I cried, because I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, really? But after that, I was fine. I went home and went straight to the gym, and I've been fine ever since. But yeah, that's the story of how I got fired, and I hope I did not bore you guys. That's basically what happened. I won't fire because of, you know, I disrespected a patient or something really, really bad. It was basically off people's feelings about me, and people lying on me. And my manager, I kid you not, she never came on the floor. I never saw her, so I know it was people who was on the floor with me. They were the ones that was feeding her information. So yeah, that's the story of how I got fired, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video.